So we got a little look at what possibly could be going on with the brand new renovations to the Cincinnati Bengals Stadium. And it might not be positive. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, starting off right away, the majority of Hamilton County commissioners this week finally turned off the money spigot when they unanimously opposed increasing the zoo's levy. They stood with taxpayers and they stood up to a powerful organization. So, yes, obviously, the Cincinnati Zoo is one of the best things in Cincinnati. And they said no. They said they're not going to use taxpayers' money to increase the levy, and they're going to have to pay for it themselves. Now, of course, if the Bengals do go ahead and, increase their stadium, I think right now the ballpark range is around $600 million worth of upgrades. That's going to come from taxpayers. And that's definitely something where, and again, you see this all the time now, where I feel like the Bengals need to, fork that bill, as they would say, and not put that on the taxpayers. Because $600 million is a lot of money, guys. Especially with the fact that they're going into renegotiations for the lease of Paycor Stadium. And they have to work out something that works out for everyone. And with them now giving a $600 million bill after the city, the county already rejected the zoo, that might not be a good idea. Let's go ahead and continue reading, though. Should we read into a positive sign for how Democrats, Reese, I'm not even going to try to butcher their names, will collectively approach the Bengals on a stadium lease negotiations? Maybe it's the reason to be cautiously optimistic. The commission majority won't simply roll over for the Bengals, whose owner recently said that the franchise doesn't want to move. But we have a deal that works for us and our fans. So again, it looks like the city, they're not budging on anything. They're not going to sit there and say, we understand that you make, your billion-dollar company, we don't care. We're going to sit here and stand our ground. And as Mike Brown says, listen, we got to work out something for both of us here. So it can't just be you guys winning. We have to win too. So if the Bengals would have forked the bill and paid the $600 million themselves, then that would be the city winning. So they're trying to get an equal thing here. In pushing back on the zoo's request for a levy increase, the commissioners had to stand up to an organization backed by Cincinnati's wealthy class. The zoo board of trustees is packed with influencers who are used to getting what they want from the local government. Pushing back on the zoo could not have been an easy decision. Everyone loves the zoo. It's a great community asset run by a dynamic leader, Thane Maynard. But the right decision often isn't easy. The commission decision to say no was overdue because at some point the taxpayers do push back and say enough is enough. The commission mainly because of Dryhouse and Dumas has been on the run of making decisions not favorable to the citizenry pocketbooks. Last year, Dryhouse and Dumas voted against giving homeowners the full annual stadium property tax rollback that was promised when Paycor Stadium was built. Dryhouse and Dumas then voted to increase sewer rates by 3%, all at a time when taxpayers and ratepayers were getting hammered by high inflation. In 2021, Dryhouse and Dumas originally supported not giving the full stadium property tax rollback, but Reese outfoxed her colleagues, demanding a county sitting on a $61 million budget surplus at the time to follow through on giving the full property tax rollback. Dryhouse and Dumas politically have no choice but to support Reese's efforts, as those of us who own homes in Hamilton County caught a break for a year. As predicted, the decision didn't hurt the county financially, and it's been doing fine ever since. The zoo will be just fine too. It has other revenue streams, including entry fees, season passes, and corporate sponsorships, often publicly scrutinized, subsidized, apologize, agencies and businesses take the easy way out and ask for taxpayers' handouts rather than taking a hard look at their books and raising user fees/ticket prices and making adjustments. The Bengals will be just fine too. If the commissioner stands their ground and demands the organization and the NFL pony up at least 40% of the cost to upgrade Paycor Stadium, their current lease runs out on 2026 and negotiations have reportedly started on a new deal. We still don't know how much the Bengals are willing to pay publicly. The commissioner needs to be more aggressive in demanding what they expect the Bengals to pay and making that figure known publicly. It's known what the Tennessee Titans Buffalo are willing to pay for their new stadiums, so there's no reason we shouldn't know what the Bengals are going to pay for the stadium upgrades. Bengals owner Mike Brown recently told reporters he would not publicly discuss specific details about stadium negotiations. Generally speaking about a new lease, Brown said in part, "We don't own the stadium, the county does. We want to stay here. We've been here since we began. Believe me, we aren't looking to run off, but we have to do something that works for us and our fans." Compared to what Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam recently said about the organization's stadium lease negotiation with local government officials, "We're not leaving northeastern Ohio, that's for sure." If it comes to the Bengals threatening to leave Cincinnati, the commission must take a stand and call it their bluff. Let's hope it doesn't come to that because the region loves having the Bengals, but we now know the commissioners are capable of standing up to a powerful interest. I will say the zoo is nothing compared to an NFL team. At the end of the day, the zoo is a beautiful thing. I went to Cincinnati before. I've been to Cincinnati before, and I did go to the zoo. I saw a tiger, but nonetheless, though, at the end of the day, it's nothing compared to an NFL team. Now, will this really impact anything at all? Yes, it drastically will. Because while, yes, as I said before, that that is nothing compared to an NFL team, what they did was they made a statement. They made a statement that we're not going to get pushed around by anybody. And the problem now is you can't, if you make a statement like that, right, the next negotiation you work on, the next big deal you do, you have to continue to stand your ground. You have to continue to, show that that statement wasn't a one-off thing. This is a thing moving forward. And that's going to be a problem because Mike Brown is going to try to work a negotiation out here. And I don't think he's going to pay 40%. I'll be honest with you. Everything I have learned from Mike Brown, for Bengals fans, I've done plenty of research on this team at this point because, I want to make sure I want to be the top. I want to be the top of the top in Who Dey Nation, guys. But, yeah, it doesn't seem like he's going to budge and give 40% or pay 40%. He might get up to 10%, but that's probably it. So we're going to be kind of in a standstill. I don't think that in any way, there's no way in any heck that the Bengals are going to be leaving Cincinnati. There's no way at all. This will get done. This will go through. But it's going to be a back and forth. And it's not going to be an easy fight, in all honesty. And at the end of the day, we just got to sit back and wait for news to come out and see what ends up happening. Because at the end of the day, right, the better Paycor Stadium is, the more events that will be there, the more concerts, the more, graduations, etc., the more money for the city, right? Obviously, more money for the Bengals, but more money for the city as the city is leasing this property to Cincinnati, to the Bengals. Now, again, though, you can't, it's a very thin line when it comes to taxpayers. Because, again, you got to keep in mind, this is someone working hard, busting their butt, doing everything they want to in their life, trying to live the best life, and then part of their money is going to a stadium that an owner really could pay for himself. And I'm not saying that, Mike Brown could pay $600 million out of pocket, but at the end of the day, there are certain things he could pay. And he's going to have to. But I think what's going to happen here is it's going to be a back and forth for a little bit of time, and this probably won't get resolved until sometime in 2025. I don't think this gets resolved anytime soon. I know this December they're going to bring up plans we talked about before, possibly a new stadium. They're going to bring up plans of the upgrades and how much it's going to cost, and they're going to bring that to the committee. But if I'm reading this correctly, it seems like the committee is trying to make a statement and trying to change things how they move going forward. And if that's the case, it's going to be a tough call to see anything change. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.